Shishradhavadavaki Jai, Shishi Gaurnitai Ki Jai, Shiva Prabhupada Patit Pavan Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 So Srimad-Bhagavatam, Canto 6, third chapter, verses 14-15. 6, 3, 14, 15. 6, 3, 14, 15.
Yes.
Aham Mahendro Niriti Pracheta.
Aham Mahendro Niriti Pracheta.
Samognir Isha Pavano Virimchi.
Samognir Isha Pavano Virimchi.
Aditya Vishve Vasavo Dhasadya.
Aditya Vishve Vasavo Dhasadya.
Marudgana Rudragana Sasidha.
Marudgana Rudragana Sasidha.
Anye Chaye Vishwasrijo Maresha.
Anye Chaye Vishwasrijo Maresha.
Brigvadayos Prishtarajas Tamaska.
Brigvadayos Prishtarajas Tamaska.
Yasyehitam na vidus Prishtamaya.
Yasyehitam na vidus Prishtamaya.
Sattva Pradhana Vikima. Svadha Sattva Pradhana Vikim Tatonye.
Sattva Pradhana Vikim Tatonye.
Aham Mahendro Niriti Pracheta.
Aham Mahendro Niriti Pracheta.
Samognir Isha Pavano Virimchi.
Samognir Isha Pavano Virimchi.
Aditya Vishve Vasavo Dhasadya.
Aditya Vishve Vasavo Dhasadya.
Marudgana Rudragana Sasidha.
Marudgana Rudragana Sasidha.
Anyecha Vishva Srijo Maresha.
Anyecha Vishva Srijo Maresha.
Brigvadayos Prishtarajas Tamaska.
Brigvadayos Prishtarajas Tamaska.
Yasyehitam na vidus Prishtamaya.
Yasyehitam na vidus Prishtamaya.
Sattva Pradhana Apikim Tatonye.
Sattva Pradhana Apikim Tatonye. Aham Mahendro Niriti Pracheta.
Aham Mahendro Niriti Pracheta.
Samognir Isha Pavano Virimchi.
Samognir Isha Pavano Virimchi.
Aditya Vishve Vasavo Dhasadya.
Aditya Vishve Vasavo Dhasadya.
Marudgana Rudragana Sasidha.
Marudgana Rudragana Sasidha.
Anye Chaye Vishvasriyo Maresha.
Anyecha Vishvasrijo Maresha.
Brigvadayos Prishtarajas Tamaska.
Brigvadayos Prishtarajas Tamaska.
Yasyehitam Navidus Prishtamaya.
Yasyehitam na vidus Prishtamaya.
Sattva Pradhana Apikim Tatonye.
Sattva Pradhana Apikim Tatonye. Aham I Yamaraja. Mahendra Indra, the king of heaven. Niriti is goddess of death, actually. Pracheta. Varuna, the controller of water. Somaha, the moon. Agni, Ishaha,
Ishaha,
Lord Shiva,
Lord Shiva,
Pavanaha,
Pavanaha,
the demigod of the air,
the demigod of the air,
Virinchi,
Virinchi,
Lord Brahma,
Lord Brahma,
Aditya,
Aditya,
the sun,
the sun,
Vishve,
Vishve,
Vishvavasu,
Vishvasu,
Vasavaha,
Vasavaha,
the 8 Vasus,
the 8 Vasus,
Adaha,
Pratha,
also,
also,
Sadhya,
Sadhya,
the demigods,
the demigods,
Marutganaha,
Marutganaha,
masters of the wind.
masters of the wind,
Interesting. Separate
air and wind.
yeah,
Yeah, I was thinking so.
because there is a Pavana, the demigod of air, and actually he controls everything in our body.
Really?
Yeah. There is a Mukhya Prana, and Mukhya Prana control everything, all life, in this body. And there's different kinds of air flow in our body. And Marutas, it's actually the winds, which we can experience outside. It is said. I think there is a 49 winds, 49 Marutas. They was children of Diti or Aditi. When Aditi was pregnant, Diti was jealous, and Indra was afraid that she would give birth to the demon. And then this Indra came to the womb of Diti and cut this child, and cut on 49 pieces. But still, they was alive, and therefore she gave birth to 49 children, and they became Marutas. Actually, sometimes these winds are very tricky, like a person's, Interesting. Yeah, separate the Pavana and separate the Marutas. Rudraganaha,
Rudraganaha,
extensions of Lord Shiva.
expansions of Lord Shiva,
Sasidhaha,
Sasidhaha,
with the inhabitants of Siddhaloka.
with the inhabitants of Siddhaloka,
Anye,
Anye,
others.
others,
Chan and Ye, who? Vishvasvidjaha,
Vishvasvichaha,
Marichi, and the other creators of the universal affairs.
Marichi and the other creators of the universal affairs,
Amara Ishaha,
Amara Ishaha,
the demigods like Brihaspati.
the demigods like Vilas,
Bhrigu Adayaha,
Vikuadana,
the great sages headed by Bhrigu.
great sages headed by Krit,
Askrishta,
Askrishta,
who have not been contaminated.
who have not been contaminated,
Rajaha Tamaskaha,
Rajaha Tamaskaha,
by the lower modes of material nature. Rajaguna and Tamaguna.
Rajaguna and Tamaguna,
Yasya,
Yasya,
of whom?
of whom
Ihitam,
Ihitam,
the activity.
the activity,
Naviduhu,
Naviduhu,
do not know.
do not know,
Sprishtamaya,
Srishtamaya,
who are illusioned by the illusory energy.
who are illusioned by the illusory energy,
Sattva Pradhana,
Sattva Pratana,
chiefly in the mode of goodness.
chiefly in the mode of goodness,
Api,
Happy,
although,
although,
Kim,
King,
but to speak of,
but speak of
Tataha,
Tatana,
then them,
and then
Anye,
Anye,
others.
others,
Translation: I, Yamaraja, Indra, the king of heaven, Niriti, Varuna, Chandra, the moon god, Agni, Lord Shiva, Pavana, Lord Brahma, Surya, the sun god, Vishwavasu, the 8 Vasus, the Sadhyas, the Maruts, the Rudras, the Siddhas, and Marichi, and the other great rishis engaged in maintaining the departmental affairs of the universe, as well as the best of the demigods headed by Brihaspati, and the great sages headed by Bhrigu, are all certainly freed from the influence of the two base material modes of nature, namely passion and ignorance. Nevertheless, although we are in the mode of goodness, we cannot understand the activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But there is to be said of others who, under illusion, merely speculate to know God. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The man and other living entities within the cosmic manifestation are controlled by the three modes of nature. For the living entities controlled by the base qualities of nature, passion and ignorance, there is no possibility of understanding God. Even those in mode of goodness, like the many demigods and great riches described in these verses, cannot understand the activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, one who is situated in the devotional service of the Lord is transcendental to all the material qualities. Therefore, the Lord personally says that no one can understand him but the bhaktas, who are transcendental to all material qualities. Bhaktyamam Vijnanati. As stated by Bhishmadeva to Maharaja Yudhishthira in Srimad-Bhagavatam 1.9.16. Nahyasya karhi chitrajan puman veda vidhi sitam yat vijijnaya sayukta mukyanti kavayogihi. O king, no one can know the plan of the Lord Shri Krishna, even though great philosophers inquire exhaustively, they are bewildered. No one therefore can understand God by speculative knowledge. Indeed, by speculation one will be bewildered, Mukyanti. This is also confirmed by the Lord Himself in Bhagavad Gita 7.3. Manushyanam sahasreshu kashchityatati siddhaye yatatava visidhanam kaschin mam veti tattvataha. Among many thousands of men, one may endeavor for perfection, and even among the siddhas, those who have really already become perfect, only one who adopts the process of bhakti devotional service can understand Krishna. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunamiritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Aham Mahendro Niriti Pracheta Samognir Isha Pavano Virinchi Aditya Vishve Vasavot Hasan Satya Marut Gana Rudragana Sasidha Anye Chaye Vishvasrijo Vaisha Vigvadayo Prishkarajas Tamaska Yasye Hitam Nachavedus Prishtaramaya Sattva Pradhana Apikim Tatonye. I, Yamaraja, Indra, the king of heaven, Niriti, Varuna, Chandra, the moon god, Agni, Lord Shiva, Pavana, Lord Brahma, Surya, the sun god, Vishwavasu, the eight Vasus, the Sadhyas, the Maruts, the Rudras, the Siddhas, and Marichi, and the other great rishis engaged in maintaining the departmental affairs of the universe, as well as the best of the demigods headed by Brihaspati, and the great sages headed by Bhrigu, are all certainly freed from the influence of the two base material modes of nature, namely passion and ignorance. Nevertheless, although we are in the mode of goodness, we cannot understand the activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What then is to be said of others who, under illusion, merely speculate to know God? So, this Yamaraj is told these words to Yamadutas, because Yamadutas, how to say, was a very unique situation for them. They never saw Vishnudutas before, and actually they think that Yamaraja is the supreme personality of Godhead. Yamaraja, do all the things here. He is under control. He's Yamaraja. He is one who decides where you go after you're dead. But when they have this Ajamila, no doubt he was a sinful person. And still one time he chanted this Narayana before his death, and Vishnu-Buddhas came and they take this Ajamila to Vaikuntha. They never heard about Vaikuntha. They know only one thing. If there is a sinful person, we take him, we beat him, we terrify him and bring him to Yamaraj, and Yamaraj send him to the hell. Like that. That's all. And Yamaraj is very powerful, therefore. But here, Vishnudutas came, and Vishnudutas was very unusual, very peaceful. They were shining, And no doubt, Yamadutas, they don't even imagine that there is some persons like Vishnudutas. Just imagine, they came directly from Vaikuntha, shining like 1,000 of suns, very peaceful, shanti, and they told to Yamadutas, we take this, Arjuna. You don't have, your Yamaraja don't have power here anymore. We take him. Just go. Go away. So the situation was very unusual for Yamadutas. They starting to fighting, with Vishnudutas, and Vishnudutas easily, beat Yamadutas and take Ajamila. So Yamadutas came to Yamaraja, and he was very surprised. What is all about? Who is this person? Who is this Vishnu? We think you are the greatest. What is all about? And here, Yamaraj told him, that's very nice questions, very good questions. Even I can't understand everything about Krishna. I can understand something, he's of course, Supreme Lord and so on, but I can't understand all his activities. It's impossible. It's impossible for me, it's impossible for Indra, and here Yamaraja exalted persons. Here we have exalted persons like presidents of the country and so on, but just a lame man, Today they are presidents, but after new election, they are not. They nobody. Like there was Obama in United States. Now he's nobody. Nobody remember him anymore. Now they have new presidents, and after some years, new election. There will be new election, and maybe they elect new president, and everybody forget about who they have right now. What is the name?
Biden.
Biden. Yeah, Biden. Forget about Biden. Now we have new one who really under control, like Indra, Chandra. They're really under control. We think we are under control, but actually we even can't control ourselves when when there is this argue for passing stool, for example. we can understand that we're not under control. If this desire, came to us to go into toilet and there is no toilet around, like in the center of the Helsinki, it's not easy to find it. I mean, free toilet. It's not very easy to remain to be under control in this situation. Very simple thing. Or you hunger or something like that, you want to sleep. We are not under control, but here Yamaraja gives this list of the persons who really under control in this universe. They are controlling. For example, Bhavana, Vayu, control everything in our body. If Vayu desires so, we must go to the toilet. Because there is a certain air flow that, engage this, how to say, process. And we cannot do nothing. We just must find the toilet. Because he is under control, not we. And in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna said, I am the air of, I'm a fire of the digestion. You just put something in the stomach and Krishna digests it. He is under control. So here we have a list of the persons who are under control, like Chandra also. If you have in your horoscope a very weak moon, your life will be full of suffering. Because he is under control, not you. In the horoscope, moon is a mother. So if moon is very weak in your horoscope, maybe you will not have a mother. For example, she will reject you. And the best, you will be adopted. But it's the best thing for you. Just because moon in your horoscope is weak, you won't have a mother. Or maybe you have a mother, but he will act, but she will act like an enemy towards you. Because the moon is under control, not you. and you can do nothing about it, because they are under control. Yeah, we have this illusion that we are controllers, but it's good that we are not under control. It's very good news. We do not control the most important thing in our body. We do not control breath. We do not control digestions, because if it will be so, if we will be under control of breath, concentrating, I'm under control. Inhale, exhale, and then car just hit you because you forget to see around because you're under control of breath. No. Everything is under control. Your sight, your seeing power is controlled by Agni. So demigods is under control in your body. And this is a very good news. Therefore, we are still alive here. Everything digested, you see everything, you hear everything, because demigods is working. In the old age, demigods leave the body. Therefore, elderly persons, doesn't have good. They can't, see good enough. They can't hear good enough because demigods leave the body before that. Therefore, you should use glasses. So sometimes elderly persons, have this mechanism to improve the hearing. In the old age, they have this, mechanical kind of, I don't know, kind of tube. Yeah. Now they have more, how to say, more modern style, but still, we are not under control. But here, once again, Yamaraja described the list of the persons who really under control, who are really great persons, but still, and they do not under control of ignorance and passion, tamagun and rajagun. In the higher planetary system, the rajagun and tamagun does not, how to say, does not appear. Of course, in the material world, always there is some tamagun and rajagun. Always. There is some ignorance. And there is some material desires. It means rajagun and tamagun are there. If there is an ignorance and material desire, it means that there is a tamagun and rajagun. Even in the higher planets, there is some particles, tamagun and rajagun. Shuddha sattva or pure sattva only in spiritual world, only in Vaikuntha you can find it. But here always there is some rajagun and tamagun. Therefore Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita said, Brahma guna rupa punaravakina arjuna pamupeti to kauntiya. And he said that starting from the Brahma Loka, the higher planet in this material universe, and down to the lowest species of life, there is death, there is ignorance, and so on. Because this is a part of material world, even Brahma Loka is still part of material world. And there is some ignorance and passion, because there is some material desires and some ignorance. But still, even in spiritual world, no one can understand Krishna. Sometimes even Krishna cannot understand himself fully. For example, in Dwaraka once, Krishna saw his reflection on the floor. The floor was so nicely washed up, and Krishna saw his image there, and he was very surprised. Very beautiful person. So we cannot understand Krishna fully. And actually this is also very good news. Krishna is always will be wonderful for us. There is one quality of Krishna, Adbhuta. Adbhuta means one who can surprise you, I say. Krishna always can surprise you, like Narasimhadev. Every day we sing this Adbhuta Shlingam Dalita Hiranika Shakutanu Bringam. Lord Narasimhadev was very surprisingly beautiful Adbhuta Shlingam. In Srimad-Bhagavatam it is said that even Lakshmi Devi doesn't see this form before. When Narasimhadev appeared, all the demigods became afraid, even Lakshmi Devi, his wife. Because yes, he was very beautiful and he was the Lord himself, no doubt, but yeah, he was very fearful, very fearful. Yeah. He was very, very angry. And even Lakshmi became afraid because she doesn't see this form before. Adbhuta Sri. So Krishna have this power to be Adbhuta, to be full of surprise. Everyone was very surprised by Narasimhadev. And once again, this is a very good news. In the Goloka Vrindavan and spiritual world, everyone always very surprised. Yeah. The atmosphere there is very fresh because Krishna is always give something new. Krishna is always very new to his devotee. They say it is said in Vedas, Nava Yovana. He's always new. Here we have some families and our wives, our husband, it's not always new. They always the same. After a few years, we know everything about this person. But you can never say this about Krishna. Krishna is always full of surprise. Always. He always knew, when you associate with Krishna, You always get some new impressions. Therefore, nobody can understand Krishna fully. And once again, this is a very good news. Boring is a word from material world. There is nothing boring in spiritual world. Every day something new. Krishna is always in use. That's interesting point because being of inhabitant of material world, we just can't understand how it can be always new because we don't see this in material world. Everything is pale here. Everything is flat here. If you are under 40, after 40, 40, for example, I'm 44. And I can say that I saw even wars in my life. Two wars in Russia. We have Chechen wars there, and now we have this war against Ukraine and Russia. So I can say I saw everything in this life, even wars, everything. So everything is very pale, everything is very flat for me. Once again, one politician after another politician, and everything is the same. But in spiritual world, it's not like that. And because of this experience that everything is same in this material world, sometimes we can't, understand how Krishna is every time new, always new for his devotees, always new. Therefore, the gopis condemn Lord Brahma because he created our material body in such a way that we should blink our eyes. And for a moment, they can't see Krishna because he's always new. Krishna is very attractive. He's always very interesting. So they can tolerate even this. In the Vedas, it is at Lava Matra. When you're blinking your eyes, it's Lava Matra. It's one moment. They can tolerate even moment without seeing Krishna because Krishna is so attractive. Krishna is so interesting. Krishna is very interesting. So once again, these great demigods can't understand Krishna. One of the reasons because Krishna is so big, so great, and we are not. Prabhupada gives this example. You may have an ocean full of water, and you have a glass full of water. The ocean full of water and glass full of water, but amount of water is different. So we can understand Krishna in our capacity fully, but still this will be a glass of water. Glass of water never can, understand the ocean of water. It's impossible. Just impossible because it's only a glass of water. So we can understand Krishna fully in our capacity. But in the next moment, Krishna became new. Another example is Anantadeva, Ananta Shesha. We know that Ananta Shesha have thousands and millions of heads, and every of these heads chanting the holy names of Lord Krishna. And Ananta Shesha won't chant all the names of Krishna. There is a competition between Anantadeva and Krishna. And sometimes Anantadeva thinks that, 1, 2 names more, and that will be all the names of Krishna. I will chant all the names, but the next moment these names of Krishna multiplied. Therefore, Anantadeva always chanting new names. And, it's just impossible for him to chant all the names of Krishna because there's so many new pastimes of Krishna, new names of Krishna, new qualities of Krishna, and so on. Being situated in material world, we have this experience that everything is limited here. Everything has ending, has beginning and ending. everything here. Therefore, once again, it's very hard to understand something that doesn't have any end, like names of Krishna, qualities of Krishna. Because with just glass of water, and we can't understand the ocean with glass. Like Prabhupada told about this Dr. Frog. The frog lives in the well, and there was another frog, and this another frog jumped to the well and told this first Dr. Frog, there was an ocean. There is an ocean outside. And how many wells in the ocean? Therefore, sometimes when philosophically minded persons try to understand God, they came to conclusion that we created God. The man created God. God is just, social conception. Because society needs some rules, therefore people create God, and this God created by men give these rules. And therefore we have, organized society. That's all. Well, that's what happened when glass of water tries to understand ocean of water. There was a story in Panchatantra, I think. But in Russia, we have another version of this story about the fox. This fox, running in forest, and she saw grapes, and this fox think, oh, I think it's very delicious. I should try it. And she jump, catch these grapes, but grapes was too high, So this fox jumps, and can't catch it. And after some time, this fox became, how to say, I don't remember this English word.
Frustrated?
Yeah, frustrated, yeah. And she thought, she's sour anyway. So when some philosophically inclined person tried to understand God, jump. I will understand. I read Bible. I read Bhagavad-Gita. I read this. I read this. I will understand it. And after sometimes, after frustration, it's impossible. Anyway, we created that. Anthropomorphic conception. It's very popular now. Man create God, There's an interesting verse in Srimad-Bhagavatam told by Prabhu Maharaj, 7.5.30. Matirna Krishna Paratasmadava. Midho Bhipadyet Grihavratanam Madanta Go Bhivishitam Trimishtam Pranakhanashcharavitacharvanam. Very, very famous verse actually. Very brilliant verse. Prahlada Maharaj replied, because of their uncontrolled senses, persons too addicted to materialistic life make progress towards hellish conditions and repeatedly chew that which has already been chewed. Their inclinations toward Krishna are never aroused, either by the instructions of others, by their own efforts, or by a combination of both. Even person, I saw this person can, study Bhagavad Gita like that, and still does not become a devotee, do not understand the God. And here is very interesting words. Grihavratanam, he gave this wow to become a materialist, to remain a materialist person. Vrata means wow. I promise I will be materialistic. And if person gives this wow, then Matir Nakrishna Paratasmatavami Dvogi Padiyet he will not understand the Lord even if he hear about Krishna, read about Krishna and so on. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna taught about spiritual intelligence by which we can understand him. Dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam vayantyate. And Krishna said there, if you try to apply spiritual knowledge in your practical life, he used word yukta. Yukta means practically applied, something practically applied. When you connect your theoretical knowledge to your practical life, this process of yukta, yoga. Because sometimes we just have theoretical knowledge, but our practical life is, completely different from this knowledge. Philosophically, we are devotee, but culturally and behaviorally, we can say just like materialist person. You can see it for example, in university. You can see it. Yeah, they're supposed to have higher knowledge, higher education, but sometimes they behave like monkeys. It means that there is no higher education whatsoever. And sometimes we just like that also. I mean, we devotees. We know this philosophy, but our practical life is not just like our philosophy, diverse, we behave like a materialist person, especially when there is a problem came to our life. Like this parrot, there was one family, and one devotee family, and parrot lived there. And devotees chanting Hare Krishna, and parrot also. For example, we have a parrot in my home, and we called him Shyam. And now he chanting Shyam, 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 Shyam. he remembered this word. Shyam, 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 Shyam. Shyam, 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 Shyam. Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam. Sometimes he also, Radhe Shyam. But when you catch him, he doesn't chant Shyam, Shyam. He just screaming out. So sometimes, we just like these parrots. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. But when there was some problem came to our life, no Hare Krishna anymore. We behave like a materialistic person. That's the problem. So we should develop this quality. We should understand that our devotional service, being devotee means that we always try to connect our philosophical understanding to our practical life. It's mean yoga, yukta. And if we every day try to do so, it's not very easy actually. It's easy to remember some verses, easy to give some philosophical speech and something like that, but very uneasy to apply philosophy in our particular life, our practical life, day by day life. If our wife is angry, it's not very easy to remain a devotee. Where is the money? Just be a devotee, no problem. No, get out and find some job. Then Krishna will give us spiritual intelligence. Because he is very sincere. He tried to apply this knowledge. Therefore, I will give him the spiritual understanding. I will give him the spiritual intelligence. Dadami buddhi yogam. Because he really needed it. He really wanted it. Sometimes, it's very hard to remain a devotee sometimes. In some material circumstances, it's very hard to remain a devotee. And you pray to Krishna, Krishna, please give me intelligence. How can I, remain a devotee in this material situation? What should I do? How should I act? And then Krishna will give you spiritual intelligence. Only in this situation. So we should always try to apply this philosophical knowledge or theoretical knowledge to our day-by-day life, and then Krishna will give us intelligence how to do so. Then Krishna will reveal himself in some extent to us. So therefore, Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita, I reveal myself only to devotees, only to those persons who try to apply the spiritual knowledge in their day-by-day life. Only to them I reveal myself. Only to them. Sometimes we can see that from this verses that we read today, even Yamaraja and so on cannot understand Krishna, because it's we should understand that devotional service should be done every day. Every day we should apply our philosophical understanding. Read from Bhagavad Gita. My dear Krishna, please explain me how I should act in this life. What should I do? How should I please you? And then we read from Bhagavad Gita, we read from purpose of Srila Prabhupada, we have some understanding and then apply it. And then Krishna will reveal himself. Here in these cases, he will be very good, he was very good, but here, not. But for example, Lord Brahma created this universe. He get knowledge from Krishna, how to create, by hearing this voice, hearing this sound of flutes of Krishna. He get knowledge how to create and so on. And after creation, when Brahma sleep, in his dream, he meet Lord Vishnu. And they discuss this creation. Lord Vishnu told to Brahma, here is not ideally, you can do better. Next time do better. And when Brahma go to sleep, part of the universe destroyed. And when Brahma, woke up, he created new universe. Because they discussed with the Lord Vishnu, how to create better. How to do it better. And every day, it's everyday practice for Lord Brahma. Every night, Brahma discuss his activities with the Lord, and Lord give his advice, and then next morning, Brahma try to create better, try to do better service. That's the devotion service. That's what it means to be a devotee. Every day try to do best for Krishna, and then Krishna will give spiritual intelligence how to do better, how to be a better devotee. And that's mean practical devotional service. That's mean be practical in devotional service. We get some philosophical understanding and try to apply it in everyday life, and then we get intelligence from the Lord how to be better devotee and how to do better service. Hare Krishna. I hope you understand something. So maybe there is some questions, comments. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
You say that we must be, at least Brahma was every day better and try to be better and better.
Mm-hmm.
So how we can create that behavior, or how I say, act every day better? How we can create that mindset that we can every day remember that we must always be awake in this process? Or does it come automatically when we chant and do these things, or should we?
The understanding that we should be better come from hearing. Come from hearing. My experience that if devotee, he's hearing from Prabhupada, does not, read books anymore. he will forget about it, that I should be better. In the same moment when we stopping hearing, Maya called us, She know the number. For example, in Russia they have so many thieves, they try to steal money from your bank account by calling you. So Maya is like that. If you're not aware, Maya will call you. So if you stop your hearing, everyday hearing, Maya will call you and you forget about that you should be better every day in your devotional service. And from another point of view, in every act there is two features. One is bhava, means attitude. When you act, you have some attitude, for example, or your mentality, and the process. So process of your activity should be the best. For example, if you repair this temple, I saw them from my room. They try to repairing something here. So it's practical working. But also there is a bhava, there is a настроение, attitude or mood, or your mood. So for example, when you change japa, your mood should be right. I change japa for pleasing Guru and Krishna. And process should be right. You should chant every word and hear every word. That's mean good japa. Prabhupada said good japa is when you pronounce every word properly and hear every word. So every day you should do this. And that's mean you try to be better every day. Not just mechanically chanting your japa. No, Krishna is for you, it's for your satisfaction. And if I won't satisfy you, then I should pronounce every word exactly like Prabhupada did this, like Prabhupada, teach us, and I should hear every word. And that means your japa will be better from day by day. So in every action, there is a process of action and your mood in action. Sometimes process is very simple. For example, eating prasadam, it's a very simple process, and you should just, develop your mood. If you're not very aware, then you're just eating. If you're aware, only I'm sorry, prasadam. Process is the same, but mood is the difference. So in every action, there is these two features. The process, exact process, how you do this, and the mood in which you do this. And if you want to, be developed in this action, you should consider the both features.
Yeah.
Mood is something very contagious, like a disease. If you associate with materialistic persons, you will become a materialistic person because you will be contagious. If you associate with devotees, you will get this mood. So association, that's the key. When you read Prabhupada books, also association with Prabhupada. And you will be contagious by his mood. And he was very fired up in devotional service. And if you hear from Prabhupada, if you read his books, you will be contagious by this mood, by his mood. I don't know if there is any other method to have a good mood. Mood is something you get from living person. It can be like that, For example, there is one interesting, very fashioned now. They call themselves inspirational speakers, like that. Yeah, it's mean that they know they have this quality, they have this power to inspire others, and they make money out of that. And Prabhupada was very inspirational, was very good inspirational speaker. he had this power to inspire a person who became a devotee. So you should hear from him every day, and he will be inspired. Yeah, inspiration, this desire to develop proper mood came from association, good association. And if you doesn't have good association, the first sign you don't have a mood.
Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. You mentioned about Sri Krishna that you can't understand, and he's like new every time.
Mhm.
I understand that basically, yes, it's very difficult for as a human being also to understand
Mhm.
each other. That, of course, to an extent, we can understand each other because, as you say, we are living together. You gave an example of a wife
Mhm.
that you live together with her for some time, then basically both of us understand each other.
Mhm.
To an extent, it is true.
Especially if we speak about devotees.
Yeah.
Devotees is sometimes, just like Krishna, because they are so deep. If we speak about materialistic person, everything is easy. Jealous, anger, and everything like that. Very easily to understand. But if you speak about devotee, oh, it's not very easy. Because devotee is very deep.
So how do we as a spiritual person, or at least person like me, for example, I'm not into spiritual like you. How can I develop or start developing? I don't aspire that I will develop everything. How can I make a small beginning
You mean in what?
in understanding Krishna? That yes,
Serving.
serving.
Yeah, because when you serve, Krishna reveals himself.
Okay.
When you try to do something for Krishna, what in your power, Krishna came to you. He revealed to you, revealed himself to you. Service is the key. Even if the service is very simple, just washing floors, something like that. If you do this with the proper mood, I try to satisfy you that my dear Krishna, he will reveal himself. He will came to you. In the next verse, Yamaraj give a very good knowledge. As the different limbs of the body cannot see the eyes, the living entities cannot see the Supreme Lord, who is situated as the super souls in everyone's heart. Brilliant, message, brilliant. We can't see Krishna, we can't understand Krishna before he tried to understand us. When we serve to the Krishna, he developed interest for us. He came to us. Very interesting, He's a material world. He was a materialistic person. He hated me, but now he saw me. Very interesting. Who are you? And he's the eyes. And when he tried to understand us, when he tried to, develop relationship with us, we can see him. For example, we have this darshana arati every morning. And sometimes devotees think that they came to see Krishna. But actually it's not so. You can't see Krishna if Krishna doesn't want to see you.
I can share very sorry, I'll take it 2 minutes.
Okay.
Very good example of what you just said. I was visiting Tirupati, and for instance, I felt I will go next time. I started my journey, but halfway I thought, okay, I'll go next time. So, with that in mind, as you said, mood, I went still, and God didn't give me darshan at all. So that whole travel until Tirupati, I went to Tirupati, I didn't get darshan. And I apologize that yes, I made a mistake because that thing which I got in my mind while traveling itself says that okay, he didn't want to darshan me, right?
Yeah.
It happened so.
Then bye bye.
And I was there for like many hours. It so happened that I was like just traveling like this around the temple, but I could not go inside.
Yeah,
I don't know. And it is not that it was first time I was going to Tirupati. I was always going every 3 months before that. But that was the instance, and that recollects me when you said it is mood. And of course, mood plus God doesn't want to give you a darshan there.
Yeah. You can't see him if he doesn't see you. Tirupati is very interesting, temple, because everything arranged is like that. That you should first you should develop a great desire to see Balaji, and only then he will show himself. There is a line, for hours. For example, we was about 4 hours in this line, and everyone in the line, Govinda, 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 was laying sighs like this. When this line, ending, when I see the Govinda, when I see the deities, yeah, it's a very interesting experience, And in the end of this line, I myself, Govinda, Govinda, Govinda.
That is how surroundings is.
Yeah.
Of course, you start developing it.
When we came to this place, when we get darshan to the altar, the Pujari take us and bring to the altar. You can stay here for 5 minutes. And Balaji was there, I can go in. I take photo. And after 5 minutes, Pujari told me, now you can go. That was my first time in Balaji. Brilliant,
That was a good moment I want to share. But that point of time, I felt really that even one moment came that I want to go again. I don't want to go now. I want to go later. But then I decided to go. God doesn't want to give me a darshan. So it was, and then after that, I was like, no.
Yeah. The point is, when we came to the darshan, actually, we came to show Krishna, I'm your devotee, please see me. There was a story about Ramanujacharya and his servant Govinda. And they came to Ranganatha, I think. They came to the temple, and Ramanuja told to Govinda, his servant, you should look on Krishna. And Govinda looking on Ramanuja. And Ramanuja looking deity. And Ramanuja told him, you should looking on Krishna, not on me. But Govinda told him, what can I see there? Only stone. But when I see how you see this deity, I can understand that this is not stone, this is Krishna. Because in your eyes, I can see this love. Therefore, it's better for me to see you. That's interesting, also interesting experience. But it's true, when we deal with devotees is always like a Krishna practically. They always knew they are very interesting. Really. I'm married for 25 years, and my wife, she's a devotee, very good devotee, very inspiring, and she always loved to serve, to feed people, to making prasadam. She's like prasad-minded person, distribute prasadam. And she always very new for me, because I see this inspiration, it's very inspiring for me. If she will be a materialistic person, it's not like that. It will be very boring. Oh, you know what you do, what Putins do, what this do, it's very boring. But we can speak about devotional service, about Krishna. It's very interesting. Devotee is just like Krishna. Yeah, every time very new. Because devotee have a power to even surprise Krishna. Therefore, Krishna came as a devotee, like as Lord Chaitanya, because he don't understand what is like to be a devotee. Devotee was very mystic for him. Therefore, he came as a devotee. Devotee is very unique, no doubt, very, very deep. In the Vedas, it is said, Vaishnavera Kriya Mudra, the activities of devotees, very mystic for everyone in this material world. No one can understand it. Why devotee do something? Okay.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Yeah, you said that when we read Bhagavad Gita, we try to apply it every day. And it's mentioned in Bhagavad Gita that if we do this process, we step by step we create all the good qualities of demigods and like this.
Mhm.
And if we really sincerely try to follow this process, it's so interesting that if we try to, if we face some problems, we try to solve them and do our best in every situation. If everyone does like this is paradise.
Yeah.
This place, like this is so brilliant. This philosophy, what Prabhupada gave us.
Yeah.
This is so nice, so practical. It's life, nothing too much, simple but full of knowledge and so intelligent.
Yeah. I think Prabhupada told us that even if 10% of inhabitants of this, planet became a devotee, this planet, became a Vaikuntha.
Yeah.
Even 10%, actually. Because another 90% they will be, they will look on this and they think, what are we doing? We are foolish. We should do like that. When Prabhupada came to America, after he came to America, guru, words guru, karma became like a mantra, became like day by day work for everybody. And the vegetarian movement started after him, and so on. One Prabhupada, and he changed the world, actually. One Prabhupada. And if there is a 10% like that in the Helsinki, you can say, in every restaurant they will be vegetarian food. And if we create good food, tasty food, they will order from the temple. No problem. Everyone will eat prasadam. I think that's brilliant future. And when there's a Harinam, they also always, waving and Hare Krishna, no problem. Quite good.
There is so prasadam. It's so powerful. We are distributing some samosas. And last time we were distributing my last 2 samosas, I went to some flower shop, and there was 3 people, and they said that, yeah, last time we ate those samosas, what is inside there? We were so happy. End of the day, we were just laughing at each other, and now we want that third person eat also these samosas, and he can be happy. And
never underestimate power of prasad.
yeah, I was like so proud. I was like, Krishna.
It's so charged with spiritual energy. Sometimes Prabhupada said that we don't have a brain in Kali Yuga. Therefore, first we should eat halal. And halal, substitute our brain. Then we can understand something. Yeah, people are very foolish here. they're very foolish, very lusty and so on, but when we give prasadam to them, especially, tasty prasadam, they became, how to say, made after prasadam. And these good qualities, will be, how developed, developed. Grantara Srimad-Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada Patipava ki jai, Go Vedantata.
Vedanta Krit Prabhu ki jai.